And
And
we're recording. Hello, Tim.
Hello, John. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm in the middle of a technical rebuild for this and many other audio projects, none of which have to do with the town of Selby, save for this one. With two towns of Selby is what this one has to do with. And
amazing. And you've got a new curtain, a green curtain.
I have a new green curtain because I feel green is always the color I picture the city.
Is there a technical reason for the green curtain?
I mean, yes. So a camera can't can extract and eliminate the color green. So I will be able to chroma key things into that display. So I will be able to look very cool.
Awesome. I can't wait to see that.
I mean, yes, we'll see if we ever get there. It's an interesting thing, technology. And it's interesting we're talking about technology on this week's Dispatch because we are agreeing and deciphering and debating how and what to send to Selby, Ontario, Canada. And can I tell you, of the research I've done for this episode, I feel I finally am like living up to my end of the bargain with all of this.
I saw that. You sent me things that were brilliant and online that I had to find. It's very exciting.
It was very interesting because it was like going back in time in the internet because it was all online email forms. All of the photos were like 90s, like posed like that. It's interesting. It made me feel like a bit of a metropolitan douchebag that I sort of always assume everything is sort of one way, where it's like, not everything is one way. Some things are another way. So like you have to just kind of, learn, grow, be, all of that sort of fun stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I really took on board the things you'd done, all of the research that you'd sent, and read through it and thought, this is all very, very good stuff. You've got the community hall and the church and all sorts of businesses as well, and then got stuck with the Greater Napanee.
This is the issue that we're sort of having, is that part of the thing with this town is that so Canada many years ago conglomerated a bunch of its cities and stuff like that into, so not everywhere isn't a town, it's part of the greater and it was done that way because Canada is so unpopulated that it allowed for better services to be provided for those towns. But when you are trying to particularly just reach out to the town of Selby, it's very difficult because all of our information isn't exactly as I want it to be, because it's just not there. This is what we were going to discuss today, which is I was going to read after your edit of our letter. And then we were going to say after this week, I will send this out and see who then responds for our next dispatch. So we can say who's friend number one.
Yeah. Did you see that I'd found another theatre in Selby, Ontario?
I had seen that. I was going to discuss that later. Now, how did you find that? Because how did you go about looking at the geography of Selby? Because I wonder if we did the same thing.
Well, I was trying to find who was the government person in Greater Napanee to contact. Somehow, by searching that, found the theatre.
Yeah, because what I did is I went on to Google Maps.
Oh, that's another way. Okay.
And just literally went along the road and looked at all of the addresses.
Okay.
And whoever it said Selby or was along that road, I would be like, that's Selby. I've decided you're in Selby.
Okay.
So I will now attempt to reach out to you or put you on the list of your reach outable person. So now it's time to get a hold of you. Evidently, Selby is a place that is still run old school of you just, I think, knock on someone's door and they give you all the information that they need. Like, it's not like they're like, email still seems foreign to them, which I'm really enjoying that in a time of COVID, their community is not what we're doing. Their community seems, I assume, is leaned over a fence. Donna, how's the pigs? That's what I feel like they're up to. I could be
maybe. I found a nursing home there. But yes, the theatre really excited me because it's got a community theatre group, which you can join for 10 Canadian dollars. And I
That's
just
like,
thought that
it's like £1 British.
it's something like that. Yeah. And that made me think they're reaching out. They want people to join. They, that might be a really good thing to contact.
There's fundamental questions we need answered about the community. We also need to find who knows what's going on in Selby. So before we get to any of that, the letter that we've currently drafted is to whom it may concern bracket. Spell check is saying we need to capitalize the I in it. I go one of two ways on this.
You're reading the letter, are you? Hang on, let me.
Well, I was going to read the letter to you so you could hear it out this way.
That sounds great.
You're the audience.
You're doing spell checking. I'm terrified of that.
Why?
Okay. Well, sometimes it's not right. Yeah. Okay.
You worried that spell check may betray you and that you're right and spell check isn't correct?
I am worried about that. Yeah.
You are now definitely a product of the British school system. That you're against the computer. Let me ask you this, chap. Did the computer ever beat the Nazis?
Well, no, I was trying to say not English because it's used by so many different people now. But the language.
And whose fault is that? Hang on. And whose fault is that, Tim?
Well, I mean, an easy way of communicating is a good thing, isn't it? The more that you can communicate with people is great.
That's true.
So I see it as. I mean, if it wasn't English, it would be something else.
If it weren't for the British Empire, and this is a real diversion, which empire do you think would have conquered the world? I always think Portuguese, weirdly.
Ah, do you? They have a nice sardine festival and green wine.
I've never had the green wine.
Yeah, the green wine. You could in fact you could just with your green curtain you could just make an amazing effect.
Because I could turn the green wine into anything I want because I could chroma key it out. Here's the other thing.
Pretty cool.
They serve pudding with every meal. Breakfast. Breakfast, you get a pudding.
Yeah, and there's that brilliant shop where they sell custard tarts in Lisbon.
It's every shop. I shot a commercial in Portugal and it stayed an extra day, and
what was it a commercial for?
I played a Mountie in a Danish gum commercial.
Of course you did. Is there going to be a Mountie in Selby, Ontario?
The Royal Canadian Mounted Police will have a station somewhere in the area that we can locate. Yes.
Wow.
Getting him in dress. He won't be in dress garb though, unfortunately.
Why won't he be wearing clothes?
No, he'll be wearing clothes, but they don't. The traditional uniform you're thinking of, that's their dress uniform. That's not their everyday uniform, which is a heartbreaker every goddamn day.
What's the dress? What's the regular day to day?
It's like it's a beige and blue.
Oh, okay.
It's very disappointing. Not the red. It's very I have a friend who is a Mountie. Every day I'm disappointed by it. He also told me he keeps his gun in a knapsack, which was an absolute letdown.
Wow.
Have you I want to respect them as officers of the law. Halt! Absolutely.
I love to go a wandering.
Which
you know that song?
I don't know that song. Is it about Mounties?
No, it's about knapsacks. Faldery, Faldera, my knapsack on my back.
Who wrote a song specifically about knapsacks?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know that, but I mean, it is a song.
Yeah, I don't know how we got to Danish music halls from To Whom It May Concern, but it was a journey that I absolutely appreciated. To Whom It May Concern. The current it is lowercase, could be uppercase, is all I'm saying. Hello, comma. We don't know who we're writing to. So far, so good. We write regarding an exciting new joint Canadian-UK project funded by the British Council, Canada Council for the Arts, the High Commission of Canada in the UK, and Farnham Maltings, bracket UK, bracket, which I like, by the way, because UK is in there a lot, and then putting the bracket makes it
getting this?
festive and fun. Getting what?
Are you getting it? Oh wow!
Oh,
This knapsack fun is great.
That's absolutely. I'm just going to adjust my lighting.
Baldini, 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 my knapsack on my back. Oh, it's moving stuff. As we were talking about knapsacks, that's the knapsack classic, isn't it?
I mean, Valdra. I mean, what's interesting is I've heard that song before and I never knew where it was from.
Germany.
It's the problem with Germany is they've given the world a lot, and yet still all I ever think is Hitler, 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 Hitler.
Well, I mean, you've got to move on, John. You've got to move on.
I'm desperately trying. Berlin is top 3 greatest cities I've ever been to, like in every way. Oh, okay. You pay for the train on the train.
That is a reason, isn't it? Yeah.
Hello, we write regarding an exciting new joint Canadian-UK project funded by the British Council, Canada Council for the Arts, the High Commission of Canada in the UK, and Farnham Maltings, bracket UK, bracket. Which I also like about that is it's hedging our bets. There might be a Farnham Maltings in Canada. We don't know. We are John Hastings, bracket Can, and Tim FitzHigham. It's a capital H in FitzHigham. FRSA, FRGS, bracket UK, bracket.
I was going to put brackets can't there, but I thought that was a bit.
That is very
serious. John Hastings brackets can, Tim FitzHigham brackets can't, and I didn't do that.
It's a good joke, but it's a better joke said than a better joke done. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, we could use it later. It's one to just file away.
My other question is, what does FRSA and FRGS stand for?
Fellow of the Royal Society of the Arts. That's FRSA. It's actually Fellow of the Royal Society of the Arts, Commerce and Manufacturing. And then FRGS is Fellow of the Royal Geographical Society.
I wish I had titles. I have a friend who's a lawyer. And
they're not titles. They're just like, post-nominals. That's what they are.
I want a post-nominal. Like I have a friend who's a lawyer and they get to be Esquire.
You could be an Esquire.
I cannot be an Esquire. I'm not a lawyer.
Not lawyers on it. I mean,
they are Esquire. ESQ.
Yeah, I'm an Esquire. You're an Esquire. Everyone's an Esquire.
Not everyone's an Esquire. I might be a Squire. I'm not an Esquire. Or Commodore is another title I'd really like to have. That's the best one. That's better than Admiral.
That is a good one. We all love that.
Who's in charge here? The Admiral? Well, that's why it's gone. That's why we have problems. Who's in charge here? The Commodore? Well.
If I was a full-time Commodore, doing this would be a problem, I think.
Yeah, you would be, the ship would be, if anything, not
how would I get time off? Yeah. How would I get time off to,
Does the Commodore steer the ship? No.
No.
Too busy.
Yeah.
It always broke my heart. I remember finding out that the captain of a big ship did not actually use the big wheel as a little boy, and that was a big that career is no longer for me.
I mean, there's not that many ships have big wheels anymore, John.
I mean, this is another big problem I have is why don't they all have the big wheel? We are John Hastings Can and Tim FitzHigham can't. Broadcasters and now podcasters. We have generously supported.
I like broadcasters and podcasters. I like that.
It denotes evolution, which we are both in favor of, and also a nautical thing because it was discovered by Darwin, who wrote about it on a ship, possibly steered by a Commodore.
I was thinking broadcasters and podcasters. It's like both types of beans.
Oh,
like broad beans and bean pods.
So I knew you knew what you were saying. I just immediately went black beans, lemon beans, both delicious beans going together. We have been generously supported by the above organizations to make a series of video/audio podcasts.
That's what we're doing now. Can't believe it.
Podcasts that aim to open communication between Selby, Ontario and Selby, Yorkshire, England. Very good symmetry, by the way. Can I add Selby, Ontario, Canada and Selby, Yorkshire, England? So then country, area.
Yep.
The The two places share a name. Our aim is to find out what else they have in common. In a time where people are locked down and communicating less, we aim, that's John Hastings can, Tim FitzHigham can't, to see if we can start a new communication, exchange ideas, create connections, and provide an opportunity for two communities to learn about history that might bind them together. We are writing to you because you are connected to, based in, or appear to be in Selby, Ontario. Please, can you help? All you need to do is get in touch. You can contact us on the following emails, and we'd love to hear from you. Many thanks.
So what I was thinking with the be in / connected to / whatever, yeah, is that we need to edit out whichever one of those, like, more appropriate to whoever we're sending the email to.
I think that we have to then going to the communication list, we have to literally put next to it a connected, based in, or appear. So then it's then we both agree. So when it's being blasted out, we don't accidentally say appear to be when someone is in. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, agreed. It's just like the nice communication lady that I found at the Greater Napanee Council. We can get hold of her through the general email, but she's not based in Selby. We're going to need with her in that bit, we're going to need to say, you're the community outreach person at Greater Napanee thing. We'd like you to help, instead of you're based in Selby, because she's clearly not. That's the phrase that's going to need tinkering with for each person, I think.
I like your thinking. I like your thought. I'm already frustrated by having to tinker with each of those phrases, but no, it's the right thing to do. Do you know what I'm saying? We love to hear from you. Many thanks for reading this, and we hope to hear from you. And we do hope to hear from you. Now, I wanted to bring you up on the we do hope to hear from you. I love that. I like that a lot, because we do hope that. And it's not putting it on them, it's putting it on us. We do hope to hear from you.
Yeah.
But you don't
worry.
Did
I put that too many times though? Is that like, where are we? We would love to hear from you, and then we do hope to hear from you. Okay, fine. Yeah, that is very, very, as you say, that is a bit British. We might want to.
But we are you have to remember we're dealing with Canadians, and a Canadian loves nothing more than a bit of Britain.
Just the tiniest bit.
I guess in soupçon.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that covers that then.
Absolutely, we've absolutely done that. That has been done.
Phew.
Yeah.
So we've got a letter. We do need to tailor it for our various.
Well, this is the thing. We're now going to go through. I want to tell you the story of going through the Selby contact list. Let me tell you how long it took me to figure out the media. Because if you Google all of the newspapers in that region, it gives you the newspapers throughout history. So I was literally searching for ancient old, like the Selby Courier Gentleman's Review. I was like, oh, this is like, look at all these newspapers. And then I got to the publication. I was like, ceased publication in 1882. And I was like, God.
Nice.
Damn it.
So I think we want to send this letter to the community hall, the theatre, and the community theatre group, the church, the businesses that you found, and the school, and the governmental community outreach lady. That's what I would be saying.
Yes. Very good. I'm very excited. And the theatre group. Can you add the theatre group into this documente?
Yeah, how do I do that?
Just write this name of the theatre group in Selby contact list.
Hold on.
And then you write their email where all the other emails are.
Well, let me see if I can do that. Can I do that? I'm going to try and do that now.
I have the utmost faith in you. Who do you think, just to give us a nice conclusion for this particular episode, who do you think is going to be the most helpful, and who do you think is going to be the least helpful? I'm saying Selby Garden Center, least helpful.
Really?
That's right.
Okay.
I think church, most helpful.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Lennox Community Theatre Guild.
I mean, I think that the reason why you're going with them is because they're a guild, and you have a thing. You always believe a guild's intentions are true.
Yes, I do. Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? That's not the only Linux in our list currently, is it?
No, there's also a Linux. It's all named after boxer Lennox Lewis, I must assume, because it's like there's Lennoxville. Like there's Lennox pops up a lot in Canada.
Does it?
Charles Lennox, the fourth Duke of Richmond, who was then governor. He was a Governor General of Canada.
Okay.
I said this before, and I will say it again. Governor General gets an absolutely lovely robe.
It's the hat, isn't it? You're on for the hat.
I don't think our guy gets a hat. Does he get a hat?
Does he not get a hat? Surely he gets a hat.
I'm saying no hat on the Governor General.
Maybe the hat is seen as old hat these days.
Oh.
I think I'm going to retire now.
I think someone got up on the right side of the bed this morning. Who is your bet least receptive? Because I'm going garden center. I'm a garden center with a bullet garden center.
Well, I'm not sure what Lafarge is, so I don't know what that might be.
I believe that is gravel.
That's gravel, okay. I wonder if gravel or freight might be less communicative than school or theatre company.
Yeah, the school. The church. I always think of churches. They're just happy to have someone to talk to.
I think the church will be very communicative and really helpful. I think really
you're
do.
Absolutely right.
But I think that the community theatre guild will also be helpful if we're thorough when we send the email out. On their website is a list of their members, like the board members.
Yes.
So we could send actual messages to like actual board members.
Oh, that'd be a bit of fun, won't it?
Which has got to be, if we've got like actual people to talk to with their names, I think that's a huge start. That you've got like Nicole and James and Andy and Kathy and Shauna and Jim.
Are these their actual names?
Their actual names.
How Canadian are all of those names?
Andy's a fairly universal name. We could say, "Dear Andy," and hope that they get back to us.
I hope they do get back to us too. And if not, what an episode we'll have to discuss where we've hit an absolute wall of miscommunication. Is there anything else to discuss on record?
I don't think so. I'd like to be giving some positive information.
I feel like this whole this whole dispatch has been very positive so far. It's shown our work. Also, by the way, I want you to know spell check has only found one other error. So if you're concerned about spell check is on your side.
It's beginning to look like a German folk song from the early 19th century.
I'm gonna have that. I'm counting that as Dutch.
Is it Germany or is it Hohenzollern?
I go by who? What? That sounds like something you catch. That sounds violent.
The Society of Benedictines, which, as the Pittenser, I've always viewed as something as sort of the enemy.
Well,
they're the people that might cost me serious money in eggs and cheese.
Wait, question for you: eggs? The Benedictine monks? Anything to do with eggs Benedict?
Oh, I don't think so, but it would be great if it was. Let's say it is. What is the history of Eggs Benedict? Where does it come from?
Benedict Arnold?
That's something I'd love to know. Legend has it that a hungover Wall Street broker brought Eggs Benedict into the world in 1894. That's a very specific date for a legend. In the Waldorf Astoria Hotel, New York, Lemuel Benedict ordered 2 poached eggs on top of buttered toast, crispy bacon, and 2 poached eggs. That's 4 poached eggs. Weird. Plus hollandaise sauce. Oscar Tjerky, the head chef at the time, loved it. Hang on. There's definitely a second. It said that Charles Ranhofer, the chef, came up with a combination in 1860s when Mrs. Legrand Benedict, one of his regulars, grew tired of the menu and wanted something new. That would be slightly before the alleged hungover Lemuel Benedict. The answer is I don't know. There are conflicting accounts.
It definitely originates in New York, which is fascinating because it's either from Charles Ranhofer Christopher or from Lemuel Benedict. Either way, it was operating in New York in the 1800s, which is a fascinating revelation and a fun fact for everyone to leave this dispatch with.
Yeah, and probably for our purposes, the most important thing is that they seem to all say that it should be served with Canadian bacon.
Oh yes, of course it absolutely should be served with Canadian bacon.
And just to round off the broadcast, a later claims the creation of Eggs Benedict was circuitously made by Edward P. Montgomery on behalf of Commodore E.C. Benedict.
A Commodore?
I know, unbelievable.
By the way, the Benedict, Elias Cornelius Benedict.
Yeah.
The Benedict Fjord in Greenland, named after him.
No way.
Wow. Which I didn't even know. I'm familiar with this fjord. Fascinating.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. Well, Benedict. Well, enough about fjords. See you next week for our next dispatch on the tale of two Selbys. And